sort of like my idea, right? So since prison, the thing is also you want to make it contemporarily viable. Take the analysis and make it contemporarily viable. So since prisons are increasingly being privatized, would incidents of torture decrease? This is my question. Now, one of the first videos I ever did, if not the first video that I've done, was on the privatization of prisons, and I did this video maybe two and a half, 3 years ago, right? So I threw the video up on YouTube. I was reading on the privatization of the penitentiary system. I was like, wow, this is a horrendous act. But then I started, in preparation for the lecture, started to think about the fact that, well, prisons are privatized, right? Wackenhut, other firms are contracting for private penitentiary systems. They trade publicly. It's well known, and so on. The way that I look at it, however, and this is a pretty morbid discussion to have, but would the privatizations, would the privatization of the prison system actually be good in protecting human rights violations, specifically with torture, not because the CEOs and the shareholders of these private firms necessarily care about human rights, but it's just bad for business, right? If you're in, and I'm not trying to be light about this, if you really think about this, this is, I think, conceptually a very interesting discussion to have, is that since the penitentiary system is being privatized, and since privatized penitentiary systems function under a typical free market economic, wherein we want to maximize productivity, efficiency, and ultimately profit for board members and shareholders, then insofar as something like Abu Ghraib goes national, if it were a result of a privatized penitentiary system, that would be bad for business, right? Governmental regulations would happen. You might have to close down the penitentiary system. Torture would be a bad thing, right? Because it would be bad for business. Not that I would be motivated to care about the individual in and of themselves because of some, beneficence or altruistic human rights appreciation, blah, blah, blah. No, I don't want to mess my money up, right? And insofar as anyone in this penitentiary system participates in acts of torture, you're messing with my money, right? So, sort of out there discussion, but I think it's an interesting, I want to put it into, I want to be provocative, right? I want to put it out into the internet, see what happens. All right, because revelations of torture would undermine the drive to maximize profit. Torture becomes bad for business, as I said, right? So, is it the case that this idea of being bad for business would actually help in minimizing, if not eliminating, torture? And I don't mean, as such, but instances of torture would be minimized. Why? Because it's, it's a business model, and it's just bad business practice. So I'll just leave that. I'll leave that for your consumption. All right. With that, I want to thank you for taking the time to watch my video. I will continue the analysis with 5.1.1 of the discussion, where I'll flesh these concepts out a little bit further. With that, I'm Dr. Jason J. Campbell. Have a great day.